moving on to the US oil. On the US oil, I'm very sure we have the same scenario here on the US oil. And if we look at what is happening here on the US oil, if you remember what we talked about here on yesterday, we had two scenarios that was lining up for us during the course of yesterday's trading session. And we were looking out for a buying opportunity and a sell opportunity. And because of that, we had two key levels. We had the key level at $119.50, and then we had a key level which is also the neckline of the reversal pattern we identified earlier. This reversal pattern, this more or less like a reversal pattern to me at this point, and we had a neckline at $118.10, which we were waiting to see price breakdown of that neckline. So for the buy opportunity, that did not hold, as we never at any point saw a breakout of that key level and a retest to give us confirmation to join a an uptrend scenario situation. However, we saw price break down our neckline yesterday. We saw price break down the neckline, which also shares a confluence with the bullish trend line we identified on Monday. We identified this bullish trend line. So we saw price breakdown of that trend line, of that neckline rather. We saw the breakdown of the neckline here. We saw the breakdown, we saw the retest of structure, and we saw an outright move to the downside. So if you are taking that trade at an entry point here, you will be having around how many pips in profit now? You will be in 300 pips in profit at this moment. And that's about how many pips our take profit target. Our take profit target still remains at $113.50. So we still have around over 100 pips to go. Now that we have this kind of scenario at this point, how do we guide our position as we head into the New York session? Since price is already moving in our favor, definitely we want to look out for where we are going to place our stop loss as we head into the New York session. So if we look left, we can see structures where selling opportunities has actually happened in the past. And if we look at what happened since the beginning of the month of June, we can see how this area at this point has been a selling opportunity for participants in the market, and this area also being a demand zone, and now you can see it's rejected here during the early hours of today as selling momentum increased. Now, what we want to do at this point is that we want to find an area where we will place our stop loss going forward. So for me personally, what I will be suggesting at this point is that we move our stop loss to somewhere around here, which at one point has been a demand level and at the same time has been a resistant level for sellers. So we have somewhere around here, which is around $116.50. Let's say $116.60 at this point. And that is going to be giving us around over 120 pips. And let's see how price plays out. And if price breaks below $114, then I will advise we move our stop loss to somewhere around here, which is the next previous structure. And well, if you think you are not comfortable with that and you think price is going to go back up, then definitely you could move your stop loss to $115.50, and let's see how price plays out. But for me personally, I still think this bearish momentum is still going to remain valid for some time, as we can see this bearish trend line here, and we could be seeing price come back into this area during the New York session, where we will see patterns that support a trend continuation further down. So one thing I will be advising as we go into the New York session is, first of all, we move our stop loss to protect our position, and at the same time we want to be using this bearish trend line as our yardstick. So let me give this a red to emphasize the importance of this trend line as we head into the New York session. So we have this trend line here. So if at any point in time during the New York session we see price come into this area or do a retest or reversal pattern around this area, we want to enter that position one more time. However, we do not want to see any break. We do not want to take any selling opportunity if price breaks above that trend line, as there is a possibility that price could climb to the upside from this area. So this is what my scenario here is going to be like on the US oil. So if you are taking advantage of that move from that entry point, I want to say kudos to you. Well done. And for CAN, this is what I was talking about when I say we look out for signal first, then we look out for confirmation. When we see signals, we don't get too excited. We just wait for confirmations to happen. And if you look at what happened here, we saw the signal in the form of a breakdown of that neckline, that gray neckline we had there, and we saw a retest of structure which gives us a confirmation that price is going further down. And if you look on lower time frames, you will see structures that support a trend continuation to the downside. And if you are if you're following this pair very closely, you would have had you have two or three more positions on this one. As we saw price move down, we saw another rejection here, then you could have had one more position to this trade going further down. So this is the scenario we're looking out for. Is there any questions or clarifications needed? Alok is introducing himself one more time. Okay, you're from India. Okay, namaste. Namaste to you. 603, good morning. 246, good morning to you. 218, hi, how are you? Good morning. You're welcome on board. I'm glad to have you around. Silvio, good morning to you. 610, good morning to you. Okay. Kenny Force, all right. Good to see you. I'm glad to have you around. Babe G, hi, how are you? A lady? Are you a lady? Okay. So, in the absence of no further questions, let's move on to the next pair. And we talked about which pair yesterday after the US oil. I think, okay, we talked about the Euro USD where we are expecting a bullish momentum on the. Oh, Babe G, fine. Oh, that's great. Lady, I'm glad to have you here. Good morning to you. Is this your first time? Okay. 678 FX. Okay. You're from Nigeria. Glad to have you around. I'm also from Nigeria and the western part of Nigeria, to be specific. I'm glad to have you around. Okay. Mauricio Pedro, good morning from Angola. That's great. I'm glad to have you around too as well. 720, you suffering? Oh, well, I'll still say that patience is still one thing I'll keep on emphasizing. Patience. Look out for your signals, look out for your confirmations before you jump into any trade. I'll keep on saying that. It's very simple. Look out for your signals, look out for your confirmation before you join any trade. Sometimes we ask the question, we say, if there is a signal, how do we know a confirmation is going to come? And if the signal happens and the confirmation never comes, then you pass the trade. It's better you don't take a trade and don't lose money than to take a trade and lose money. Oh, Babe G, wow, that's interesting. From Nigeria too as well. That's great. I'm very glad to have you around, and I hope to see more of you in the forum. Wow, we have a lot of Nigerians in the house. Femi Matthew, good morning from Nigeria. That's great. That's interesting. I'm so excited to know this. And sincerely, I look forward to seeing more of you guys around. I'm always here to help anytime, any day. Just give me a hi, send me your peers, and we can look at this together. Okay, so let's move on. So here on the Euro USD, we had this scenario here on the Euro USD yesterday. And during the course of yesterday's session, we were looking at a double bottom structure where we were expecting price to come to retest the neckline structure, after which we were looking for a trend continuation to the upside. So personally, that did not happen, as we saw price continue to go to the downside, and I had to personally adjust my entry point to 1.04300, as this area at 1.04 was still holding the demand for price action in the last 4 days, I think. And because of that, I readjust my entry here. I got my entry triggered at this point, and I had to move my stop loss to break even because I was waiting that I see a confirmation, which never happened. And right now, price is back in that demand zone at this point. So for me on this pair, it is very pertinent that we look out for significant signal that would push us to take advantage of any bullish potential here on the Euro USD. And if we look at what has been happening since the beginning of the month, we will notice that price has been on a bearish momentum. And because of this, we want to see significant signals that will confirm that we are actually going to be experiencing a reversal pattern going forward. And the only way we can look out for a signal is only if we see a breakout of this neckline at 1.04680 area. That is, we see a significant breakout of this neckline, and that is on a 1 hour time frame. We see candle close significantly above this neckline. Then we look out for structures in the form, we look out for confirmation rather, in the form of a retest of structure. Then we look out for patterns on lower time frame that supports a trend continuation to the upside. So this is one scenario I want to be looking out for to take advantage of any buying opportunity on the Euro USD. You might be worried or concerned that what are we going to be doing watching price between here and here, which is around 60 pips. Well, personally, I'll re-emphasize this. Is better you do not take a trade and don't lose money than take a trade and lose money. So we want to wait for that confirmation to happen to give us that confidence to enter a bullish momentum. So now the second scenario you want to be asking, okay, fine, if the bullish momentum never comes, how do we take advantage of the bearish momentum if it finally happens? Now, if we look left, we already have a key level. We can work around for a selling opportunity on this pair. So what I want to be doing at this point is to identify a key level around here, which is, sorry, let me put it around here. And then we have one here as well. And let's give it a gold. Okay, good. And let's have this like this. So one thing we want to be looking out for is this if we want to sell the Euro USD. Well, we cannot ignore the possibility of a selling opportunity considering the long-term bearish momentum on this one. And if we look at what happened since the beginning of the week, we can see price never went above 1.05, which is more or less a sign that sellers are very, very strong at this junction. And that is why I'm saying that if we want to sell, we want to see a significant breakout of this area to sell the euro against the USD. Now that we are looking for the other scenario, which is a selling opportunity, then we want to be seeing a significant breakdown of the key level at 1.04 area. Then we want to see a retest, that is a confirmation in the form of a reversal pattern on lower time frame. It could be a double top structure, it could be a head and shoulder pattern, or a 1 2 3 reversal pattern, or probably a rising wedge, where we look out for a breakout of structure, a retest into structure, and then we could take advantage of a selling potential to the downside. So where will our take profit target be if we are going to sell the euro against the USD? That can only be confirmed if we go to a higher time frame, let's say the daily time frame, to look at how price is playing out at this point. Well, if we look left, we can see that we had a demand level at around 1.0333750 area in the past, which is more or less a sign that we need to be very, very cautious at this point, as this area has witnessed a bullish potential in the past, and it's very, very possible that we could experience that bullish potential again from this area. So that is why I insist that if we are going to sell, we want to look out for a significant breakdown of that key level I identified on the 1 hour time frame before, and a retest of structure to confirm that we are still going further down. So if we are going to take profit target for the selling opportunity at this point, I can't find any structure in the past to use as a guide. As you can see, this area has been known for demand. In the past, we can see it has been known for demand, demand, demand. So I can't see any structure to use as a guide to take a take profit target on the Euro USD. So going back to my 1 hour time frame, what do I want to see here? Well, the last previous impulse leg should be what we are going to be using, and if we look left, we can see we had an impulse leg here from 1.05 that culminated at 1.03580 area. So if we extend that impulse leg into the future, we project it into the future, we definitely will be having something like this. And to be more specific, we bring out our Fibonacci extension tool and run it through that impulse leg. Then we have something like this. So we will be aiming at between the 127.2 and the 141.4% extension of that impulse leg. So if we have an entry point around this area, then we want to be having our take profit target within the 1414 area, which I will suggest we use 1.04280 or 1.04300 as our take profit target, which is about, oh sorry, hold on a second, I think I didn't get that right. Okay, this is what we should be using, and we have a take profit target at 1.04 1.02 029, okay, 1.0300, which is more or less a psychological level, and that's an approximately of 100 pips to catch if price plays out as expected for any selling opportunity. But mind you, remember we said that we had no selling potential when we looked into the past from this area. So this is what we'll be looking out for. We want to see, let me come again on this one. We want to see a breakout of breakdown. I think we need to use a 15 minutes time frame for this one because of the nature of this juncture in the market. So this is what we want to be looking out for. I think we already have, hold on a second, I think we already had a breakdown of structure. We already have a breakdown of structure. Give me a moment. Let's look at our line chart here. And we use this bearish trend line as our yardstick going into the New York session. So let's have this in mind. Like I always say, you can screenshot my screen, and you can use it as a guide when you're about to take your individual decision on this one. So we have a take profit at 1.0300, and I want to see this as a breakdown already of that key level. We have a retest of structure, which also shares a confluence with the bearish trend line. Then we want to be looking for reversal patterns on the lower time frame. Let's say double top, head and shoulder, 1 to 3 reversal pattern to take advantage. We now look for a breakdown, retest to take advantage of a selling momentum. So to be of more assistance, let me go to the 5 minutes time frame and let's see what's happening here. So on the 5 minutes time frame, I would suggest we wait for this candle to close. We want to see a rejection of this area, then we take advantage of that move. And if that does not happen, then let's look at this area here. This area here, we look for a breakdown, retest on lower time frame here, then we look for patterns to join the decline to the downside. So that is my scenario here on the Euro USD. I don't know if you have questions or you need further clarifications on this one. Kindly put it in the comment section so we can look at it together one more time and make things more simpler for us as we head into the New York session. So going back to the chart, I give you 10 seconds. Let's see if there are any questions whatsoever. And then if there is none, we'll be able to move on to the next pair. Okay, Ricky 44 King, morning guys. Okay, good morning to you as well. Marvin May, I hope I got that correctly. Hi, how are you doing? Femi Matthew is saying that he has been losing since he started. I want to know when I should enter the market. Okay. Well, in response to your inquiry or to your statement, I'll say that you continue to be with us here and follow our instructions accordingly, and I'm sure you would be right back on the positive page. And one thing I want to say is this: we don't want to get too excited when we see signals. Patience is very, very important. We don't want to get excited. We look out for signals, then we look out for confirmation. And if you have been with me on this pair, on this platform, you will observe how I used to emphasize on the importance of confirmations before we enter a trade. Sometimes you might get caught up in the FOMO, that is fear of missing out, that you might want to miss out and you don't want to miss out of this, so you just join at the sight of a signal. I used to say this: it's better you don't take a trade and don't lose money than take a trade and lose money. So if you don't take a trade and you missed it, the signal happens and the confirmation never comes. Just pass the trade, pass it, let it go. There is plenty of opportunities in the market. We have many pairs to trade, many commodities to trade, many opportunities still coming up. In fact, in a week, you can have as much as 50 opportunities. So if you miss one opportunity, does not mean that there's no other opportunity that will come again. So this is what I normally tell people around me and what I tell myself as well. If opportunity comes, this signal comes, but confirmation never comes, then let it go. Let it go. 301, good morning to you. AUD USD, yes, AUD USD. I have a setup on AUD USD already. I hope we look at that AUD USD before I finish for today. Vakas, hello. MQ, hello, good day to you. Peteric, hello, good morning. Was saying this, so I hope I got that correctly. Good morning, bro. Which currency is this? Well, we are looking at the Euro USD anyway. That's what we are looking at the moment. 399, hello, good morning to you. 228, hi. Tuta, hi, how are you? Ictos 2022, what a smile you have there. Good morning to you. All right, let's move on to the